In nature, strength does not come in only one form. Some species win through venom, bringing down prey from the inside with a single bite. Some rely on muscle, crushing all resistance through raw power. Two paths, two weapons, but both forged by the same law of survival. And the question remains, between venom and strength, which is the one that nature truly fears? At midday, the Namibian desert sinks into scorching heat. The air shimmers above the sand, and most creatures have already withdrawn into shade. But just beneath that seemingly still surface, a world of hunting continues without pause, where death arrives in ways no one anticipates. Look at that flat expanse of sand. It is concealing a perfect trap. A small, round trapdoor covered in sand and silk, perfectly camouflaged within the desert. Directly beneath that door, a trapdoor spider waits in silent ambush. From the burrow entrance, countless fine threads radiate outward, turning the surrounding sand into an invisible sensing net. A cricket wanders off course and touches a thread. A split second later, the trapdoor snaps open. The spider launches out and seizes the prey, then drags it straight underground, faster than a blink. In the dark burrow, venom seeps into the cricket's body and gradually liquefies everything inside. The spider then simply sucks out the contents and leaves behind an empty shell. That is death arriving quietly from within. But nearby, another hunter chooses a far more blunt approach, ending prey through raw, unadorned force. A burrowing scorpion with pincers as wide as a thumb. It barely needs its venom. A cricket walks past, the pincers snap shut, and the chitin shell shatters. The exposed flesh is torn apart immediately by its mouth parts. Same prey brought down, but it and the spider represent two completely opposing methods of hunting. On the same patch of sand, one creature was liquefied from within and one was crushed from without. Two outcomes, and neither shows any mercy. At the smallest scale, venom and strength are evenly matched. But as size increases, the two paths diverge further, and the price each hunter must pay grows heavier. That price is most visible in a Central American rainforest. Beneath shafts of sunlight filtering through the canopy, a pit viper lies coiled and still beneath dry leaves. A forest mouse picks through the undergrowth, nose close to the ground, searching for seeds. Every tiny vibration travels up through the branches, and the eyes above immediately lock on. The pit viper strikes in a flash. Hollow fangs drive deep, pump venom, and release instantly. The mouse lurches upright and bolts through the leaf litter, believing it has escaped. But the venom has already spread silently through the body, destroying tissue. After a few more steps, the mouse staggers and collapses. Only now does the pit viper calmly follow the scent trail. Strike and release. That method saves energy. But right in this same forest, another hunter brings down prey the opposite way, by holding and never letting go. In the dense, dark, damp forest understory, a boa constrictor lies coiled. It carries no venom, But those muscular coils are enough to suffocate any prey. A mouse forges its way closer to the tree root, where the boa lies hidden. The moment the prey enters range, the boa launches like a spring and wraps tight around it. That method of constriction costs more energy, but leaves the mouse almost no chance at all. The boa swallows the prey whole right there, no need to follow a scent trail. Two hunters, two different bets. One trusts an invisible venom, the other trusts the coils of its own body. And the price each pays is nothing alike. At the middle scale, venom and strength each carry their own cost. But if the two were forced to face each other, who would remain standing? The answer is waiting in Africa. Here, nature places two extremes side by side. On one side, venom potent enough to kill a large animal. On the other, strength capable of hauling a carcass up a tree. At the edge of the East African savanna, late afternoon, a cobra more than 2 meters long glides quietly through low grass, head slightly raised, tongue continuously flickering to probe the air. In a tree 10 meters away, a leopard opens its eyes, the powerful shoulders tightening under the spotted coat. It has just spotted the shadow moving below. The cobra stops, raises half its body, and spreads its hood wide. That threat display has made many large mammals hesitate, but the leopard continues to press closer in silence. The first strike drives straight forward. The leopard tilts aside and sweeps a paw hard across the snake's body. The fangs only manage to sink into the grass. The second time, the venomous head snaps forward like a spring. The leopard immediately leaps back. When striking, the snake is extremely fast, but changing direction is always slower than a four-legged opponent. After only a few exchanges, the leopard has already identified that weakness. It keeps circling to the side, each step pressing closer behind the snake's head, beyond the reach of the fangs. Suddenly, the snake spits venom straight at the leopard's eyes. The leopard tilts its head just in time. The spray grazes past the ear and falls onto the grass. But every missed spit drains the snake's venom reserve. The next time, a portion of the venom catches the leopard's muzzle. The leopard jerks its head, eyes squeezing shut, staggering back several steps. The snake immediately seizes the upper hand. The snake rears again. The leopard seizes the opening and drives in, pinning its head to the ground. But in that same instant, the fangs also manage to sink deep into a paw. The struggle ends only when a dry crack of breaking bone sounds. The snake's body goes limp, but the last of its venom has already entered the leopard's bloodstream. Leaving the snake's body in the grass, the leopard walks on, but the venom is already destroying its body from within, and it collapses. The leopard falls. Its chest rises and falls more slowly with every breath, its eyes seeing nothing now, only the distant sound of buffalo carrying faintly to its ears. Venom overcomes strength. Strength overcomes venom. But the next creature is entirely different. Nothing sharp can penetrate it, and no drop of venom can seep into it. An East African riverbank at dusk, murky water drifting slowly by. 2 meters from the bank, a Nile crocodile moves beneath the surface, only its eyes breaking the waterline. A herd of impala picks its way to the water's edge, stretching their necks and lowering their heads to drink. Beneath the flat surface, the long shadow is already moving toward the slender legs. The water explodes. The enormous jaws launch out of the mud, clamp onto a leg, and wrench the impala downward. It claws frantically, but it is already too late. The crocodile rolls beneath the water, trailing mud and white foam. The prey thrashes desperately in the murky current, then disappears completely beneath the surface. Not long after, the stretch of river returns to its familiar calm. The crocodile's eyes still float in the current, while the impala herd has already retreated far from the water's edge. In bodies as enormous as that, strength decides nearly everything. But nature is not built only from massive jaws and great blocks of muscle. In rock crevices, beneath leaf litter, or inside tunnels under the sand, there is another world entirely, where a single drop of venom can accomplish what muscle cannot. Beneath the sand, the spider still waits behind its silk door. The scorpion holds its pincers ready among the rocks, and the snake waits in darkness for the first signal from prey. On the grassland, the bodies of the leopard and cobra gradually become part of the savanna. Out on the river, the crocodile lies still, as though the battle of the afternoon never happened. From the smallest creatures beneath the earth to the giants ruling the waterways, every species carries its own weapon, sharpened across millions of years. And right now, somewhere out there, another hunt has already begun. One careless step, one very faint vibration, sometimes that is all it takes to decide life and death. Through the ink-black water blanketing the tropical wetland, where the light of dawn barely reaches the grassy bank, an unusually loud splash rings out from the middle of the marsh. It is not a bass leaping to catch a mosquito, nor a branch falling from the forest canopy. It is the sound of a battle between two creatures, neither of whom has any concept of losing. Pantanal is not a nature reserve, not a national park. This is the largest wetland on Earth, and everything here is permitted to eat whatever it wants. Welcome to Pantanal, not the Amazon, not the Everglades. This is the largest tropical wetland ecosystem on the planet, spanning more than 150,000 square kilometers across 3 countries. A place where the flood season lasts 6 months, turning the entire floodplain into a shallow ocean. And when the water recedes, the endless battle for territory over every dry patch of ground begins. Here, humans are only passers-by. Pantanal has the highest jaguar density in the world, 1 per every 10 square kilometers. And you never see them before they see you. Before going deeper into this journey, if you carry within you a sense of awe before the apex predators, subscribe now so you never miss anything that lies ahead. Because what lies ahead is not an ordinary safari. This is where the largest predator in the Americas hunts the creature that every other species dares not touch. If Pantanal has a god, that god does not dwell on a mountaintop. That god lies beneath a tree at the riverbank, eyes closed, breathing slowly, already planning the next meal. Weighing 120 kilograms with the strongest bite force among the big cats, the jaguar does not bite the throat of its prey like a lion. It bites straight through the skull, one strike finished without a struggle. The jaguar is the top-down controller of the entire Pantanal ecosystem. Without the jaguar, caiman populations explode, fish decline, and the underwater food chain collapses layer by layer. The Kunkun. The Pantanal jaguar has evolved to do what no other jaguar does: hunt caiman underwater. They do not fear the water, do not fear caiman. They actively swim into the channels and select their prey before diving. Once a target is chosen, the jaguar does not attack from the water. It swims around, climbs the opposite bank, then creeps down to approach from the direction of the caiman's head, the one point where the caiman cannot react in time. But the Pantanal jaguar is steadily losing its territory. Deforestation for cattle ranching has destroyed 30% of Pantanal in 50 years. And without buffer forest, jaguars have nowhere safe to breed. Each jaguar needs 50 to 150 square kilometers of territory to survive. When land is fragmented, they are forced onto farms, attacking livestock, and humans begin to see them as enemies to be eliminated. The jaguar disappears into the shadows of the forest. Pantanal draws a long breath, and beneath the water, something that has existed since the Jurassic begins to stir. Caiman do not need to intimidate. They only need to exist, and the existence of 10 million caiman across Pantanal is already a declaration powerful enough for any creature that dares set foot in the water. The Yakari caiman, the signature species of Pantanal, can reach 3 meters in length, weigh 60 kilograms, with a bite force strong enough to crush the bones of a piranha. But their true strength lies in numbers, not size. Caiman are the recycling machines of Pantanal. They consume dead fish and animal carcasses and control piranha population density, helping sustain the diversity of 400 fish species within this ecosystem. Caiman do not waste energy. During the day, they bask in the sun, absorbing heat, not to rest, but to charge their energy reserves for nighttime hunts in total darkness. When night falls, caiman switch to an entirely different mode. Eyes glowing red in the darkness, they glide across the water without making a sound, waiting for anything that steps into their zone. Despite their large numbers, Pantanal caiman were once nearly driven to extinction in the 1980s due to the hide trade. They recovered thanks to legal protection, but now prolonged drought is draining their habitat. And the caiman themselves, a species that survived the Jurassic, now face an enemy that no evolution has prepared them for: rising temperatures that alter the sex ratio of their eggs, pushing entire populations toward gender imbalance. The caiman slides into the water, the river surface goes flat again, and from upstream, a wave begins to spread. Not a wave of water, but a wave of sound from a species that never hunts alone. If the jaguar is the solitary god, and the caiman is the silent army, then the giant otter is the noisiest warrior tribe in Pantanal, the only species that does not need to be silent to be dangerous. Measuring 1.8 meters in length and weighing 32 kilograms, the Pantanal giant otter is the largest otter species in the world. And they do not hesitate to confront caiman to defend their territory or protect the young of their group. The giant otter is the health indicator of Pantanal, They only exist where the water is clean and fish are plentiful. When otters disappear from a stretch of river, it is a sign that the ecosystem there is collapsing. Giant otters hunt through a collective encirclement strategy. An entire group of 8 to 16 individuals forms a circle underwater, driving fish into the center and taking turns diving in. No individual eats alone while the group is still hungry. And when a caiman enters the group's territory, the otters do not flee. They surround the caiman, calling loudly, darting in to bite and pulling back until the caiman retreats in confusion and pain. Only around 5,000 giant otters remain across all of South America. Mercury pollution from illegal gold mining is accumulating in fish, their only food source. The calls of the otter group fade into the distance. Pantanal slows its breathing, and in that silence, 3 separate stories begin to converge at a single point. But the true story of Pantanal is not the story of each species in isolation. It is the story of what happens when 3 different rulers are forced to share the same river. The jaguar eats caiman. The otters chase caiman. But caiman do not disappear because Pantanal needs them. And both jaguar and otter understand this limit, even without any language to express it. This is Pantanal's contested shallows. Where the flood season recedes, fish are concentrated into ever smaller pools, and everything converges at the same point. Who arrives first? Who is strong enough? Who is smart enough? And this is the moment Pantanal becomes truly dangerous. Not because of a single predator, but because all of them are here at the same time, including the jaguar, standing on the bank and beginning to calculate. The jaguar selects the largest caiman, not because it is the easiest to attack, but because it is the only meal worth the effort. This is not instinct. This is the thinking of a creature at the top of the food chain. The caiman has no idea. It is eating fish. Its head lifts only to swallow, and that is the one mistake it is allowed to make today. The jaguar lunges. Not from the bank, from within the water. It had silently slipped into the river 30 seconds earlier without creating a single ripple. The caiman reacts by reflex, tail thrashing, body twisting, jaws snapping shut. But the jaguar has already locked its jaws onto the fatal point. And from that moment on, the outcome is only a matter of time. The otter group hears the commotion and does not move away, but moves closer. Not to help the jaguar, not to help the caiman. They come because where a caiman dies, fish will gather. Opportunity waits for no one. The jaguar drags the caiman onto the bank. This meal weighs almost as much as the jaguar itself. But the Pantanal jaguar never abandons unfinished food. It will return again and again until there is nothing left to return to. The otters immediately occupy the now empty water point. Not a second of hesitation. And here, Pantanal reveals itself most clearly. There is no room for kindness, but also no room for waste. And the loser will become part of Pantanal in an entirely different way. Not as a predator, but as the nutrients feeding the food chain below. Everything you have just witnessed is not cruelty. It is the language of an ecosystem refined over 65 million years. Every death is a meal. Every meal is a new cycle of life. The jaguar controls the caiman. The caiman controls the fish. The otters keep both sides in check. And all of them together control something more important than any single species: the quality of the river flowing through this land. Pantanal holds 25% of South America's surface freshwater. It sustains more than 1,000 species of birds, 400 species of fish, 300 species of reptiles, and millions of people who depend on its water. And when one link disappears, when the jaguar is gone, when the otters are gone, it is not just Pantanal that loses a species. It is 25% of a continent's surface freshwater that loses its guardian. But the most dangerous creature in Pantanal cannot swim, cannot run fast enough, has no fangs or claws. The most dangerous one arrives on bulldozers, and no species can evolve fast enough to adapt. In the past 50 years, Pantanal has lost more than 30% of its area to agriculture and cattle ranching. And the fire season of 2020 burned another 30% in a single dry season alone, the worst on record in recorded history. Illegal gold mining pours mercury into the rivers. Pesticides from soybean fields seep into the groundwater. And the giant otter, the most sensitive species of all, is the first to fall when the water begins to be poisoned. And the price to be paid is not only nature's to bear. When Pantanal dies, when the wetlands dry up, when the rivers are contaminated, 15 million people in Brazil, Bolivia, and Paraguay will lose a source of fresh water that nothing can replace. The question that remains is not what we have witnessed. It is, when all these rulers are gone, what will we use to replace 65 million years of evolution? What will we have left when Pantanal is no longer the green lung of South America? When the last ruler hunts the last prey on the last remaining piece of land? Pantanal is still here, still breathing, still holding within it the answer to the million-year question. But the time we have left to listen to that answer grows shorter every day. If this journey has made it impossible for you to look at a puddle, a river, or a forest with the same eyes as before, leave a comment below. Pantanal needs more than people who know its name. And until next time, at the next brutal survival arenas, where nature does not allow you to be a spectator, there are only two choices: understand or disappear. It is dawn on an African riverbank. The water has not yet turned blue. A thin layer of mist clings low to the surface, refusing to disappear. Everything is waiting for the day to begin. A gray heron stands motionless on a rock near the shore, not hunting, not moving, just standing there, as if it understands that mornings here demand silence. Nearby, an antelope drinks, small sips, head down, then up again, scanning its surroundings in a rhythm repeated thousands of times before. This is a place every animal must come to, and every one of them must pay some kind of price for a drink. That price is never announced in advance. Lions, the dominant predators of the African savanna. Strength, speed, coordinated hunting. On land, few animals can confront them directly and come out on top. This pride has several cubs under 3 months old. At this age, their brains are still in the phase of exploration, even toward things their instincts have not yet learned to name. The lioness stops about 5 meters from the water's edge. She looks left, then right, then along the surface. It is a habit, but not a complete safety check. Beneath the water, another sensory system is already at work. Along the crocodile's jaws and body are thousands of pressure receptors. It knew the lions were coming before it ever saw them. The Nile crocodile, a reptile that existed long before the dinosaurs disappeared. And it still hunts this way because it has never needed to change. A crocodile does not hunt in the usual sense. It does not chase. It does not surround. It does not need a complicated plan. It simply waits until the target brings itself within reach. The lioness scans the area one more time. The surface is calm, no unusual sound. She allows the pride to approach and drink. It is the most reasonable decision she can make with the information she has. And that is exactly the problem. This is a problem with no perfect answer. The pride needs water to survive the day. That need cannot be postponed. But every trip to the riverbank means accepting a risk that can never be fully controlled. The smallest cub drifts away. It moves closer to the water's edge than the others. The distance from its mother grows, 10 meters, 12, 15. No one notices. The lioness is splitting her attention between the others and her own need to drink. One animal cannot monitor 4 directions with equal precision at the same time. The bend in the river and the sudden drop near the bank erase the usual warning signs. Lions have no way of reading the underwater terrain, so their ability to judge danger is limited. The early morning light gives the crocodile an even greater ambush advantage. And when several disadvantages stack together, the cub's chances of becoming prey rise sharply. The cub edges closer, crossing into the danger zone. Beneath the surface, the crocodile adjusts its posture without creating a ripple. This is the moment when two worlds are separated by only a thin layer of water. On one side, curiosity and exploration. On the other, a waiting strategy refined over millions of years. The attack comes without warning. The crocodile's jaws clamp shut in less than half a second, with enough force to lock onto the cub's forelimb instantly. The lioness reacts at once, covering roughly 15 meters in under 2 seconds, her roar tearing across the riverbank. But by then, the cub is already being dragged into the water. The crocodile does not need to kill on land. It only needs to pull the prey into the water. Once there, every advantage shifts completely, and the lioness knows that. She charges in up to her shoulders, slamming at the surface. But there is nothing there, only water. And beneath it, her cub is being pulled in a direction she cannot follow. She stops. No more roaring. She simply stands there, shoulder deep in a river that is not hers, staring into the surface with helpless eyes. Below, the crocodile has not yet dragged the cub into safe depth. The cub is still struggling, not from conscious decision, but from the body's raw mechanical reflex against the pull. The lioness manages to bite the crocodile's tail, the only part still within reach. The bite is not enough to injure it, but enough to throw it off for a second. The crocodile responds with a death roll, spinning violently. The lioness is forced to let go, but the twisting changes the angle of the bite, and in that brief instant, the cub slips free. The lioness drags the cub back onto the bank. She does not stop. She does not look back. She retreats farther and farther from the edge until her paws are fully on dry ground. The riverbank is where two worlds touch. The crocodile does not pursue. On land, the game has changed. It knows its limits, just as the lions know theirs. The cub is breathing hard. The lioness begins licking the wound slowly, over and over again. Beneath the surface, the crocodile has already returned to its old position. Motionless, almost invisible. Nothing about it suggests failure. To a crocodile, waiting is never wasted. The entire attack lasted less than 15 seconds. But that was more than enough to leave a mark. Not in words, but in sensation, in instinct, in reflex. In the days that follow, the pride still has to return to the river, but not at dawn, and not so close to the edge. This is how knowledge passes through generations in the wild. Not through teaching, but through pain severe enough for the body to remember longer than any lesson ever could. The mistake that morning did not belong to the cub. It did not have enough information to understand what it was doing wrong. The mistake belonged to the moment of judgment, to 4 stacked disadvantages. A Nile crocodile can go a very long time without food. Waiting is not a choice for it. It is survival. Every time the lions return to the riverbank, to the crocodile, it is simply another opportunity. Lion cubs in the wild rarely survive their first year. Every injury lowers those odds. This cub may recover if infection does not set in. When drought lasts too long, species are forced to gather around the few water sources that remain. The distance between predator and prey shrinks, and encounters like this one become far more common. The striking thing is, neither side is wrong. The crocodile is only doing what it has always done. The lioness is too. In nature, there is no right or wrong, only outcomes. These two species have coexisted along Africa's rivers for millions of years, not because of peace, but because both sides understand the boundary. The lioness does not know exactly where she went wrong. She only knows what happened. And in this world, the result is the only lesson that lasts. The injured cub carries a lesson today that cannot be taught in safety. It may not understand it yet, but its body already remembers. And in the wild, that is enough. Mistake becomes data. Danger becomes knowledge. And that knowledge, if the cub survives long enough to use it, may become a lifelong survival advantage. The burden is not strength. It is responsibility. The lioness does not live only for herself. Every choice she makes affects her young. Survival is not about always winning. It is a chain of choices, mostly right, sometimes wrong. And one mistake at the wrong moment can change everything. The riverbank does not change after the pride leaves. The crocodile is still there. The water is flat again. Everything returns to normal, as if nothing ever happened. Tomorrow, the lions will come back. but not quite the same as today. The lioness will stand farther away, choose a different moment, keep the cubs closer, not because she has planned it, but because she remembers in her own way. And when dusk falls, the river will keep flowing as it always does. It holds no memory. Only the creatures who live beside it must remember, if they want to survive. Through the still water blanketing the surface of the marsh, where the light of dawn barely touches a few inches of the waterline, a sound of heavy breathing rises from the reeds. It is not the sound of fish breaking the surface, nor the wind moving through the grass. It is the breath of a creature, watching your every move. Okavango does not welcome you. It tests you, and whoever hesitates will not have time to understand where they went wrong. Welcome to Okavango, not a river, not a lake. This is a survival machine powered by floodwater, sunlight, and blood. A place where every flood season is a rebirth, and every nightfall is a survival contest that no one is allowed to lose. Here, humans, are only observers. No privileges, no protection. Only the naked truth of nature. Before going deeper into this journey, if you carry within you the fire of the wild, subscribe now so you never miss a thing. Because what lies ahead is not a sightseeing tour. This is a survival challenge in the heart of Africa's greatest flood delta. If Okavango has a king, it is not the species that swims the fastest. It is the species that dares to wade through deep water to claim the right to rule. With a body weighing over 200 kilograms and a jaw force exceeding 300 kilograms, the lions of Okavango bring down a water buffalo like a giant vice, clamping shut and never letting go. But their true strength is not in the strike. They are population controllers that help maintain the balance between the buffalo herds and the vegetation across the entire delta. In Okavango, lions do not hunt in the usual way. They ambush from floating grass islands. Each move forward a silent chess game. The pride splits into groups. One side creates noise to herd the prey. The other lies waiting in silence. This tactic has been passed down through generations of Okavango lion prides. But this land is shrinking. Poaching and agricultural fencing fragment territories. Lion prides grow smaller and no longer carry enough genetic diversity to survive. The lions of Okavango, who have learned to live with water, are now learning to live with a threat they cannot hunt: the disappearance of their own home. Okavango draws a long breath, and in the distance, another call begins to rise. If the lion is the king of strength, then the African wild dog is the genius of the collective, the only species that wins through discipline, not muscle. Weighing only 25 kilograms, yet with a hunting success rate of up to 80%, higher than both lions and leopards. Their weapon is not fang and claw, but perfect coordination requiring no language. They are the engine of the ecosystem. Each hunt moves the prey herds, creating a cycle of rotation that allows the grasslands of Okavango to recover and spread. Before a hunt, the entire pack performs a ritual. They lick each other's faces, heads touching heads, not out of affection, but as a combat ceremony. After that, no one leaves anyone behind. They share food first with the young and the sick, the only species in Okavango that places care for others above its own needs. Fewer than 6,600 individuals remain across all of Africa. Rabies, from domestic dogs, farmers' snares, and habitat loss, are wiping out the continent's most skilled hunters. Every wild dog pack is a miniature society. When a pack disappears, it is not just animals that are lost. An entire culture of hunting built across generations is lost with them. Night falls over Okavango, and beneath the water, something older, colder, begins to move. If the lion is king on land, and the wild dog is the master tactician, then the crocodile is the primal darkness of Okavango, the species that witnessed the extinction of the dinosaurs and is still here. The crocodile's jaws generate a bite force exceeding 1,700 kilograms, more than any living creature on Earth. A single roll of the body underwater tears apart anything in just 3 seconds. But the crocodile is not only a destroyer, they are natural canal diggers. Their sleeping hollows create water pools that help hundreds of species survive through the dry season. Crocodiles do not give chase. They wait, sometimes for hours, even days, until the prey steps close enough that no escape remains. When they strike, there is no warning, no running start, only the water breaking open for one beat, and everything is already over. Despite existing for over 200 million years, the crocodiles of Okavango are losing their habitat. Water pollution and agricultural land conversion are shrinking the living space of the oldest surviving reptile on Earth. A species that has survived 5 mass extinctions now faces a threat that no evolution can defend against: human indifference. The water surface goes flat again, but just nearby, a heavier breath, a larger body, begins to rise. But the story does not stop with predators. As we leave the shallows, another world begins to reveal itself. The world of the giants that lie beneath the surface. This is the deep water of Okavango, where light does not reach the bottom, and anyone who enters cannot determine where they stand in the food chain. The floodwater does not only bring fish and plants, it brings the hippopotamus, a species weighing 4 tons, the most aggressive and most important creature in the entire delta ecosystem. If the crocodile is the silent darkness, then the hippopotamus is a moving storm. And the next part of this journey will take us straight into the eye of that storm. The hippo does not need to hunt to become the most dangerous creature in Okavango. It is dangerous simply because it exists, and no species is allowed to forget that. Weighing over 4 tons, capable of running at 30 kilometers per hour on land, jaws that open to 180 degrees. Hippos kill more people in Africa than any other large animal, including lions. But the hippo is a nutrient pump. Every day they deposit hundreds of kilograms of organic matter into Okavango, feeding the algae, feeding the fish, and sustaining the entire food chain below. Male hippos mark territory by spinning their tails and spraying dung, the clearest and most undeniable boundary language Okavango has ever known. When territory is violated, there is no negotiation. Two males crash into each other, jaw against jaw, the sound of impact splitting the air until one submits or flees. But hippos are disappearing. Prolonged drought, declining flood levels, and ivory poaching are pushing this species toward the endangered list. An Okavango without hippos would be a dead river. Newborn hippo calves need clean water to breathe. When the water is polluted, when flood levels no longer rise high enough, the survival rate of the next generation drops to catastrophic levels. The water rises, the water recedes, and in that cycle, nothing is permanent. Every strength has its limit. Every territory has its end. Here, speed no longer matters. Strength no longer matters. The survivor is the one who can read Okavango, knowing when to be still, when to strike, when to step back. Tonight, the lions have cornered a buffalo herd at the water's edge. The crocodiles are waiting below. The wild dogs stand at the rim of the darkness, and the hippos do not care about any of them. A sound. The buffalo herd breaks in every direction. Water explodes upward, and in that chaos, Okavango takes its share, as it has done for millions of years. The loser of tonight will vanish without a trace. Only the ripple of water spreading outward, and the silence of Okavango answers everything. Everything you have just witnessed is not a collection of separate stories. Okavango is a living organism, and every species is an irreplaceable cell within it. Lions control the buffalo herds. Wild dogs distribute prey across the territory. Crocodiles dig canals. Hippos nourish the water. Switch off one, and the entire system will tilt. Okavango does not exist because of floodwater. It exists because of balance. A balance rewritten over millions of years, now being erased in just a few centuries. And when one link disappears, it is not just one species that is lost. It is an entire ecological symphony that has never been written before and will never be written again. But the most dangerous creature in Okavango is not the lion, not the crocodile, not the hippo. It is us, the only species that destroys without needing to be hungry. Hydroelectric systems upstream are regulating the flow. Less floodwater means less grassland, fewer fish, less life, diminishing at every level, multiplying downward. Poaching does not only kill animals, it shatters social structures. Lion prides lose their leaders, wild dog packs lose their memory, hippos lose their guide generation. And the price to be paid is not only nature's to bear. When Okavango dies, the millions of people who depend on its water and tourism will lose everything. When the lion's roar fades into the night, when the wild dog pack disappears behind the curtain of grass, when the water surface returns to calm as though nothing ever happened. The question that remains is not, what have we discovered? It is, do we have enough time to change? Before the answer becomes a permanent silence. What will we have left when Okavango no longer floods? When the greatest survival machine in Africa finally runs out of fuel? Okavango is still here, still flowing, still alive. But for how long depends on the answer we choose to give today. If this journey has made you shudder, left you unsettled, or simply made it impossible to look at Okavango the same way again, leave a comment below. And until next time, at the next brutal survival arenas, where nature does not ask if you are ready, end of dry season on African savanna, ground cracked long like old wounds. Grass withered crisp underfoot, while air thickened silence. Each species here has a role, and that role isn't fixed. Today's predator can become tomorrow's prey, if it makes one wrong choice. In this harsh environment, no action is meaningless. And sometimes, a successful hunt is precisely the starting point for an unavoidable failure. Africa doesn't favor the strongest, but chooses those who adapt more effectively. And today, the law will be demonstrated through a small species. Honey badger, small, fierce mammal famous for courage, recognized by Guinness as most fearless animal, ready to confront opponents many times larger. Honey badger skin thick and very tough, enough to reduce effectiveness of strong bites. Loose skin also helps it twist to counterattack right when restrained. Honey badger's front claws long, curved and extremely strong, suitable for digging burrows, breaking beehives or foraging underground, and when needed, it tears through anything blocking path. Mongooses, significantly smaller than honey badger, but they rarely act alone. This species' true strength lies in ability to coordinate in packs. In a mongoose pack, usually at least one individual performs sentry duty. It observes from high position and signals when danger approaches. Despite having certain resistance to snake venom, their greatest advantage lies in behavior, group coordination with astonishing speed and precision. This morning, entire pack moving toward nearest water source, a familiar route repeated daily and already silently tracked by honey badger. Honey badger doesn't lack food, but this opportunity rarely appears. When pack begins dispersing to forage, young individuals remain, creating dangerous gap. In nature, distance sometimes determines survival, not just between two bodies, but between an individual and pack's protection, and honey badger knows this. Balance in nature rarely collapses through chaos. It usually starts from very small deviation, then spreads faster than any reflex. Honey badger charges straight at target, no circling or probing. That's the hunting method of animal relying on endurance, boldness, and closing speed. Small mongoose pack reacts almost immediately, but still slower than decisive moment. Warning call rings out, but pack still outside support range. Honey badger bites and holds prey's neck or nape, an effective restraint method helping it quickly end attack before opponent can escape. Honey badger doesn't leave immediately, but begins eating on spot. A common choice for confident predators when not sensing clear threat. Not far away, mongoose pack has heard alarm signal. They stop almost simultaneously, then quickly turn toward direction emitting sound. This isn't random reaction, but social behavior reinforced through natural selection. When one individual signals, entire pack immediately coordinates. Honey badger quickly recognizes pack approaching, but it doesn't retreat. Instead, it turns to face, raises fur, and grips food tightly. Mongoose pack approaches at safe distance, not rushing in immediately. They observe, maintain formation, and assess opponent before choosing intervention moment. When honey badger turns back to prey position, two mongooses from behind have closed in. They attack tail and flanks, areas honey badger cannot defend. This is attrition attack type. No single individual strong enough to bring down honey badger alone, but entire pack can force it to continuously expend energy. Honey badger counterattacks fiercely and strong enough to bring down several individuals in short time. But mongoose pack doesn't retreat, nor let formation fall into chaos. This is when numerical advantage begins showing effectiveness. Each eliminated individual almost immediately replaced, while honey badger must bear all pressure alone. Honey badger turns back to prey and continues eating. This is biggest mistake it will make today. While head bowed down, three mongooses attack simultaneously from three directions. Situation changes, not from single strike, but because honey badger, for first time, loses control of fighting space around its own body. Honey badger still hasn't left prey, partly from resource-keeping instinct, partly because it never had to abandon anything before. Today is first time. Mongoose pack doesn't rush in chaotically. They attack in short waves, then withdraw, maintaining pressure without depleting own energy. Through each collision, honey badger's reaction speed begins decreasing very slightly. What naked eye hardly notices is clear enough for entire pack to adjust closing distance. Honey badger begins moving to find more favorable opening, trying to regain initiative. But each gap just appearing is quickly filled by entire pack. Confrontation now no longer revolves around prey carcass. Entire mongoose pack has shifted target from protective reaction to applying pressure until honey badger exhausts. Mongoose pack not panicking, they continue following exact rhythm maintained from battle start. Patience is final and most effective weapon in this species' arsenal. Honey badger still bites several more individuals, but force and accuracy markedly decrease. Wounded ones retreat, while remainder continue applying pressure. This is battle about time, not strength. And in this battle, numbers always beat single individual, however exceptional that individual. Honey badger lowers body longer than normal beat. A declining sign mongoose pack immediately recognizes and exploits without delay. They don't need clear finishing blow. Just maintain pressure long enough, remainder decided by opponent's physiological limits. When honey badger falls again, it still manages to rise. But posture has lost stability, showing body beginning to decline movement controllability. Mongoose pack gives honey badger no rest. Each time it struggles up, entire pack immediately tightens pressure before opponent regains balance. Honey badger still bites back, still growls, and still won't retreat. But now, body can no longer keep up with its fighting will. This isn't simply failure of stubborn individual, but proof of survival law. Collective endurance can wear down even exceptional opponent. After ensuring threat has ended, Mongoose pack quickly disperses and continues moving toward water source as original route. Honey badger lies motionless long while before beginning to move again. It's not dead, but clearly exhausted and completely lost situation control. Prey carcass still remains in place, but honey badger doesn't return, remaining energy not enough to exchange for what already cost it too much. Nature doesn't judge. No good or bad guys in this story, only choices and consequences. Honey badger chose to attack pack and failed. But story doesn't stop there. One more severely wounded mongoose individual falling behind, and mourning order seems beginning to reverse. Honey badger recognizes opportunity, stops observing. Though body still hurts and exhausted, hunting instinct hasn't disappeared, only temporarily suppressed. And in those few seconds, honey badger looks at pack, then looks at wounded mongoose. First time today, it steps back without anyone attacking it. Honey badger turns away slowly, not fleeing but also not continuing pursuit. First time that morning, it actively refuses an opportunity. In nature, individual strength always has limits, while collective strength can far exceed individual capabilities when organized effectively. Tomorrow, honey badger will continue hunting while mongoose pack still goes toward water source. Nature continues, not remembering and not judging. But what remains after this morning isn't moment honey badger fell, but when entire pack turned back just from brief signal from wounded individual. Nature answers the question, what's stronger, individual or collective strength? It only presents real situations with unpredictable outcomes. Mid-morning on the African savanna, as the sun begins to pour down on the parched earth, life does not stop. It simply shifts to a different tempo. There is no shade for refuge, no place to hide completely. This is a land where every creature must expose itself to the sun and to one another. From a small burrow beneath a tree, a small head emerges. Dark, beady eyes scan the surroundings quickly. This is not curiosity, it is a survival habit repeated every day. The daytime savanna belongs to those who dare to venture out when the sun is harshest. And among them, there are encounters that neither side planned for. The Egyptian mongoose, a small carnivore widely known for a skill few others on the savannah can match, dealing with venomous snakes. Measuring about 50 centimeters long and weighing less than 2 kilograms, its reflex speed is among the fastest of any mammal of its size. The mongoose is equipped by evolution. Modified acetylcholine receptors make the cobra's neurotoxic venom act significantly slower on its body. But resistance to venom does not mean total immunity. A large enough dose or a bite in the right location can still be fatal. Not far away, a long, glossy object moves slowly through the grass. It makes no sound. Only a slight ripple on the blades of grass serves as evidence. The mongoose stops. Its nose points forward, the distinct scent of a large reptile, unmistakable for anything else on this savanna. To understand the gravity of the coming confrontation, one must look at the creature slithering toward the mongoose, one of the most dangerous and common venomous snakes of the Dark Continent. The Egyptian cobra, up to 2 meters long, capable of accurately spitting venom into an opponent's eyes from over 2 meters away. Each bite injects enough venom to take down a full-grown human. Beyond its toxicity, its main advantage is strike speed. A strike is completed in under a quarter of a second, exceeding the reflex time of many equivalent predators. However, as the opponent closes in, the strike's effectiveness decreases. Distance becomes the decisive variable governing the probability of success for both sides. The two detect each other at less than 3 meters. The mongoose lowers its body and bristles its neck fur, while the snake spreads its hood and coils its body into an S shape. Both are ready for war. This is a language both species understand without needing to learn. Every posture is a message. I am not retreating, and I am readier than you think. Both hold their positions, neither advances. This is not hesitation, it is calculation. In this battle, the one who strikes first is not necessarily the one with the advantage. The snake sways its head slowly, tracking every movement of the mongoose. This is a psychological tactic to distract the opponent, creating a moment of diverted attention to strike. The mongoose is not deceived. It moves forward half a step, then retreats. Forward, then back. Not out of fear, but to read the snake's reaction time. The snake lunges with a fast and precise strike, but misses. The mongoose evades in a split second. No one is hurt, but information has been gathered by both sides. The mongoose counterattacks immediately, without hesitation, lunging straight for the snake's neck, a strike taking less than a quarter of a second, which the mongoose has practiced since it was young. The snake breaks free and coils back instantly. Both return to their original positions. The tempo spikes. It is no longer a probe. The battle has truly begun. The snake lunges, using its strength to bite quickly toward the mongoose. The mongoose closes its eyes and turns its face back, evading perfectly. The thick facial fur acts as a second barrier. The venom clings to the surface. The snake used one of its most effective weapons and failed. The mongoose accelerates. No more stepping back and forth. This time, it is a continuous assault, forcing the snake to strike repeatedly. Every strike from the snake is an opening the mongoose is waiting for. The snake gradually loses the initiative, shifting to a coiled, defensive posture. This stance limits attack angles, but simultaneously reduces its ability to control distance. The mongoose focuses on the back of the head, the area controlling the nervous system. A precise bite here can quickly neutralize all resistance. The snake thrashes violently, trying to escape the encirclement. Its long body sweeps across, pushing the mongoose away. The mongoose is tossed back, but does not fall. All four paws hit the ground instantly. This is the moment many other predators would stop, but not the mongoose. It returns with the same speed, maintaining pressure, demonstrating a resilient strategy selected by nature. The snake strikes one last time, more accurately than before. Fangs graze the mongoose's shoulder, but the thick fur and skin block part of it. The amount of venom injected is not enough to change the outcome. The moment the snake retracts its jaws after that bite is the final opening. The mongoose does not miss. Its jaws lock onto the back of the snake's head, the target it aimed for from the start. The snake coils around the mongoose, trying to use constricting force, but the mongoose does not let go. The bite force increases steadily. This is the decisive phase. The first to lose control will lose everything. The snake's movements slow down, not from exhaustion, but because neurological damage begins to spread from the bite site. The mongoose holds its position for nearly 40 more seconds. No rush. Waiting until movement completely stops. It is extremely cautious. When the snake is entirely motionless, the mongoose still bites down hard. Nothing changes. The battle ends in a way this species has repeated thousands of times before. The entire event took under 15 minutes, but every second reflects accumulated evolutionary data. No factor depended on mere luck. The mongoose drags the snake back to its burrow, a typical behavior for the species. No victory celebration, just a necessary meal after energy has been spent. In the ecosystem, the mongoose plays the role of a natural population control for venomous snakes. No other predator in this area performs that function. But the mongoose also faces increasing pressure, shrinking habitats, dwindling water sources, and competition with larger predators. The cobra faces similar trends. Declines in many areas are mainly due to environmental changes, exceeding the short-term adaptive capacity of both species. This raises a larger question. When one of the two disappears, how will the rest of the ecosystem adjust? There is no simple answer. Today's battle is a very small part of a much larger picture. Every species in this system depends on the existence of others. The mongoose carries the snake to its burrow. There is no reason to linger. The day is still long, and the savanna sun waits for no one. The savanna keeps no memory of what happens upon it. The wind erases traces. The sun dries what remains, and the cycle continues the way it has always operated. These two species have coexisted on this continent for millions of years, not because of peace, but because of balance. One side is dangerous enough to force the other to evolve faster. The mongoose will return to its burrow before dark. Another cobra will emerge when the temperature drops. This loop has no beginning and no end. Of all the lessons nature can teach, perhaps the simplest is also the most difficult to grasp. No species exists alone, not even the best predator. And as the first darkness touches the horizon, the savanna does not ask who won or lost today. It only prepares for what will happen tomorrow. Dawn over Africa, first light touches the river surface. Thin mist rises from the still water, covering the sandy bank like an ethereal veil. Along the riverbank, footprints in wet sand tell last night's story. Some came to drink and left. Some species disappeared, never to return. In the distance, a baboon troop approaches the riverbank, then stops on high ground, observing the water below, displaying vigilance mechanisms selected through evolutionary process. This river is both life source and boundary between life and death. For small creatures like the baboon troop, each approach is a survival decision. Baboons are among Africa's most intelligent and fierce primates. Gray-brown fur, elongated face, and good eyesight help maintain high vigilance. Their jaws are fearsome weapons. Canines can reach 8 centimeters long, bite force from 500 to 700 pounds per square inch, enough to tear enemy flesh in an instant. They live in troops from several dozen to over 100 individuals, with clear hierarchical social structure helping maintain order and reduce conflict within the group. Baboons are omnivores, consuming from plants to small animals. Flexible diet helps them adapt effectively to harsh conditions of prolonged dry season. Their notable feature is a sophisticated warning system. Different sounds correspond to each threat, from birds of prey above to predators in bushes. But with dangers underwater, warning signals become limited when forced to cross rivers. Survival pressure forces the troop to choose despite existing risks. The troop leader advances, observing the river surface. In the next few seconds, its choice will directly affect the entire troop's safety. Behind, the entire troop waits silently in tension. Mother baboons clutch their young tightly, as delaying too long can also increase attack risk. The water surface is still, flat, and suspiciously calm. In African river ecosystems, silence often conceals lurking potential dangers. A dark shadow over 4 meters long lies motionless beneath murky water. Only eyes and nose protrude, camouflaged effectively like drifting rotten logs. Nile crocodiles are top ambush predators, with morphology virtually unchanged for millions of years. Their pupils are extremely sensitive to movement. third eyelid supports underwater observation, helping detect prey precisely within hunting range. Nile crocodile bite force exceeds 3,000 pounds per square inch, enough to crush prey bones. Once jaws have closed, almost no force can make them open. As ambush predators, they can lie motionless for extended periods to conserve energy and only attack when opportunity reaches optimal level. The tactic is very simple but extremely effective. Wait for prey to approach, attack in less than 1 second, and drag underwater to drown. Baboons are well aware of danger, while crocodiles are ready to ambush. The encounter between vigilance and silent strength begins right at this river bend. Finally, the troop leader decides to descend into water, each step cautious. The entire troop immediately follows, maintaining tight formation in this life or death choice. Adult males go first, water rising to their bellies. Behind, females hold young tightly, maintaining high vigilance against sudden attack risk. When the troop reaches midstream, water level rises to adult chests. Young cling tightly to mothers to avoid being swept away. Tension reaches peak. Suddenly, the water surface behind erupts. A crocodile charges with terrifying speed. The baboon troop panics, signals warnings. Formation immediately shatters. Individuals in front rush quickly toward opposite bank, while the rear group turns back. Dispersal breaks troop cohesion, making hunting risk increase. In nature, living in groups helps distribute risk. When separated, solitary individuals quickly become the clearest targets in dangerous environments. The crocodile locks target, not chasing the troop, but focusing on separated individual. This is common hunting tactic, prioritizing weak or slow-moving ones. Crocodile jaws close just centimeters from the baboon. Water splashes high. This individual escapes narrowly, rushing ashore at maximum speed thanks to survival reflexes. On both banks, baboons stand panting. The troop is divided by the deadly water. The first river crossing ends with luck, but not everyone made it to the other side. On the old bank, a mother baboon with young is trapped. She looks across to the other side, where most of the troop has safely gathered. Below the water surface, the crocodile has submerged, restoring initial calm. However, that silence is only concealing danger still lurking below. The mother baboon understands she cannot wait long. Lack of food and troop separation diminishes social standing. She must decide quickly to ensure survival chance. On the other side, the troop cannot wait, begins moving into areas with food. Distance gradually increases, forcing the mother baboon under pressure to act urgently. She descends into water. The young clings tightly to mother's back. Cold water gradually submerges the body. Each step is gambling with fate. Having advanced some distance, she steps slowly. The water surface ahead ripples lightly, then falls silent. Mother baboon is vigilant, eyes scanning along the current. From the right side, the crocodile suddenly lunges up, without warning signs. At a speed impossible to react to, its jaws aim straight for the young on her back. Teeth sink deep into the young's leg. A piercing cry rings out. Mother baboon grabs her offspring, pulls back, creating a life-and-death tug-of-war in the water. On the bank, the baboon troop scatters. Warning cries ring out continuously, but no one dares enter the water, can only observe from safe distance. Mother baboon resists by instinct, continuously biting, clawing, and jerking. However, her bite force is significantly weaker than the crocodile's, making advantage tilt toward the predator. As the struggle drifts toward shore, the crocodile gradually loses advantage in shallow water. Seizing the rare opportunity, Mother baboon musters strength for one final jump. The young escapes the crocodile's jaws, but in an instant, the crocodile switches targets and locks jaws onto Mother baboon's leg. The young runs ashore, trembling with leg wound. Another baboon pulls it into the troop's center. It survives, but the price paid doesn't belong to it. Underwater, Mother baboon still resists, but the pulling force increasingly tilts toward the predator. Bit by bit, she's drawn away from shallow water. On the bank, cries thin out, then cease completely. The baboon troop helplessly watches, unable to intervene. The outcome is decided and no second miracle occurs. On the water surface, the last ripples vanish. The water continues flowing, reflecting natural law that won't stop operating for losses. The baboon troop leaves the riverbank, quickly reestablishes formation, with the wounded young walking in the troop's center. Life continues despite carrying irreplaceable loss. The young is still too small. It doesn't fully understand what just happened, but survival instinct has deeply carved a life-and-death experience. In nature, victory sometimes is simply being alive. No heroes or villains, only existence continuing in life cycle. Below the river, the crocodile returns to familiar ambush position. It can fast for many weeks, but still patiently waits for prey. Persistence is its key survival weapon. Life by the water always exists in fragile balance, where action and waiting alternate, creating an endless cycle. In the distance, the baboon troop has found an area with food and gradually restores daily behaviors. But the formation is now missing one member. The young with leg wounds sits beside another female. It will grow up, will learn to survive, and someday will have to face this river once again. In the silence of the African plains, each species holds a role in nature's endless cycle. Life and death aren't opposites, but two parts of the same flow. A cheetah runs up, lowering head, sniffing the small, motionless companion lying on grass. No response, only wind blowing through spotted fur and silence enveloping the grassland. In the distance, two yellow shadows remain there, one individual bearing full injuries. On the plains, no victory is priceless. Two hours earlier, early sun just touched Masai Mara grassland, and wildlife's rhythm began awakening. Under acacia canopy, a cheetah group rests with cubs. This is Zuri's family, one of Masai Mara's largest coalitions. Cheetahs are the planet's fastest big cat, speed reaching over 100 kilometers per hour. But in exchange is slender body and weak bite force, creating disadvantage in direct confrontation. Therefore, cheetahs typically form sibling coalitions, hunting and defending territory together. And Zuri's family has many adults, a rare number, strong enough to control wide territory. But even that coalition cannot protect cubs continuously. Individuals under 6 months still have high mortality rate from lions, hyenas, and birds of prey. This morning, 3 adult males left the group hunting, leaving females to protect 2 cubs, force reduced and risk immediately increased. 2 cheetah cubs are playing with rabbit carcass mother brought this morning, pulling, shaking, and pouncing each other. They play about 30 meters from acacia, completely losing vigilance. On empty grassland, distance becomes weakness. Group lies under tree canopy, leaving 2 cubs exposed within perfect range for opportunists. To the east, about 200 meters away in tall grass, a solitary lioness on patrol has detected movement. It lowers body, focusing completely on 2 separated cheetah cubs. Lions don't hunt cheetahs for food, but to eliminate competing rivals. This behavior is common, helping reduce future resource pressure. Distance gradually closes. Lioness creeps low, nearly invisible, while 2 cheetah cubs still play absorbed, not yet experienced enough to recognize threat. 20 meters. Lioness compresses muscles. Hind legs press earth. Under tree canopy, an adult cheetah raises head, scenting danger, but already too late. Lioness bursts into speed, 140 kilograms charging through low grass. 2 cheetah cubs panic, running 2 directions, but legs not fast enough. One immediately caught in lioness's jaws. Remaining cheetah cub rushes toward 2 adults, caught individualized still. No response, as lioness stops and turns, head-facing charging group. Lioness doesn't retreat. It moves, holding cheetah cub like living shield, facing adult individuals growling with message. Advance further, cub will pay price. 2 adult cheetahs advance few steps, then stop. They recognize the stalemate, when mass difference makes direct confrontation nearly hopeless. But cheetahs don't fight with strength, but with tactics, continuously distracting and dividing pressure from 2 sides to lock lioness's reaction rhythm. Harassment tactics begin. One advances forward, growling, drawing attention. Others circle behind, exploiting blind spot, forcing lioness to spin, continuously defending. Lioness gradually loses control, simultaneously holding prey in jaws while defending 2 sides, cannot roar or counterattack, locked in disadvantageous position. One from behind lunges, clawing lioness's flank, then immediately retreats. Lioness whips around, but gap has shifted direction while another continues closing in. After many minutes of harassment, lioness gradually exhausts from continuous spinning, jaws tired from holding prey, and calmness replaced by rage. And that's what cheetahs are waiting for. When lioness loses control, it must attack and release jaws, self-opening the mistake tactics aim for. Cheetah from behind lunges again, clawing deep into lioness's back, wounded through fur layer. Lioness roars, turns body in rage, and moment jaws open, cheetah cub falls. Lioness doesn't release from mercy, but because counterattack instinct overwhelms holding prey, immediately shifting to direct confrontation. An adult cheetah rushes to where cub just fell, lowers checking, but small body no longer responds, completely motionless. And that moment changes everything. It carries cub's body away, eyes go cold, pack instinct fully activated. Right then, 3 adult cheetahs hunting return, abandoning prey immediately and charging straight back to group. Adult individuals converge, completing formation. First time lioness faces entire coalition. Cheetah group surrounds completely, eyes unblinking, bodies lowered. Force balance tilts decisively, and lioness recognizes this. Tactics upgrade. They take turns moving, forcing lioness to continuously spin left, right, behind, but every direction blocked, making encirclement increasingly tight. Attack strikes begin intensifying. Each one lunges clawing, then withdraws immediately. Not fatal, but eroding stamina through each defensive spin rhythm. Lioness roars and counterattacks, but misses. Each lunge makes it lose more strength, while opponents always stay out of reach. 10 minutes pass. Lioness gradually slows, swipes weaker, body turns heavier, and distance compressed from 5 meters down to 2. Encirclement tightens each beat. Claw marks thicken across body, not fatal, but enough to gradually drain strength. First time, lioness lowers center of gravity, shifting to defensive stance. Cheetah group recognizes the change. When the strong begin defending, battle has reversed. Attack rhythm increases, pressure pushed even higher. But battle will stop there. On Masai Mara, no creature is completely alone, and lioness is no exception. Earlier roar has echoed farther than cheetah group's calls. Ground trembles slightly. From the east, a deep, heavy roar tears through plains, bringing massive yellow shadow charging, dark black mane, rippling muscles, answering the call and advancing straight into battle. Cheetah group immediately flees in unison. Balance completely shifts. What they dared do against exhausted lioness, one miss, cannot apply before 2 powerful hunters. Male lion stands beside mate, not roaring, not pursuing, only silently staring straight at cheetah group, and that presence enough to close the battle. Cheetah group backs away, no more attacking, no more encircling. When coalition faces coalition, bene, they cannot defeat 2 lions. Afternoon sun descends on Masai Mara. Male lion lies licking wounds for lioness. Claw marks will heal, but lesson remains. The strong can still be eroded by numbers. And cheetahs also carry their own lesson. Coalition can erode solitary lioness, but cannot win when male lion appears. Each survival layer has limits. On this vast plain, conflict between lions and cheetahs occurs nearly daily, an arms race lasting millions of years. But today is exceptional. Rarely do cheetahs dare ambush, pressing lion into defense. Zuri's family transcended instinct, attacking the stronger. Price of ambush clear on both sides. Lioness weakened, requiring rescue. Cheetah group lost cub, a future link in Zuri's family, never given chance to mature. In nature, all behavior aligns with survival instinct. Lions eliminate potential rivals, while cheetahs protect next generation. No good or evil exists, only selection and consequence. Abandoned cub carcass will quickly attract vultures, insects, and microorganisms, initiating decomposition process, an essential link in nutrient cycle. Zuri's family begins stabilizing. Adult individual surrounding, cub at center, shielded, minimizing separation risk to maximum. Two lions still there. Lioness rests lying down, male stands guard beside. They'll return to territory tomorrow morning and continue patrol. At conflict point, grass gradually stands back up. Blood seeps into earth, first scattered by wind. By tomorrow morning, traces will nearly vanish, only a few strands remaining. Survival on plains is problem without answer. Strength beats numbers, numbers beat individual, then coalition defeated by larger coalition. Somewhere on Masai Mara tonight, Zuri's family will lie close together under starry sky. Entire group will surround remaining cub in defensive formation. Evening wind blows across Masai Mara, carrying scent of wet grass and earth dust. Claw marks on lioness's back have dried, while cheetah cub carcass gradually covered by ants, all traces fading with time. But lesson not erased. Lioness becomes more cautious when facing large cheetah groups, while Zuri's group keeps cubs close to formation, each side accumulating experience from their own scars. As last light leaves Masai Mara, plains sink into invisible sounds, where just 1 second of carelessness can trade for irretrievable loss. The price for those who start conflict sometimes is those who must pay most dearly. From above, the East African savanna appears as an endless golden canvas, where the shadow of large wings glides silently in parallel with a dark streak moving close to the ground. Beneath an acacia tree, a pride of lions rests after a meal. Bloodstains still ring their mouths, completely unaware of the brown eagle circling overhead and gradually lowering its arc. Under the low grass nearby, a black mamba nearly 3 meters long slides across a trail, carrying in its fangs enough venom to kill 10 grown adults. The eagle suddenly folds its wings and dives, talons driving straight into the mamba's midsection. Wind screams through the feathers as the large shadow rapidly covers the grass below. Talons pin the target to the red dust. The mamba immediately coils in resistance, whipping its head around at extreme speed, its venom-loaded fangs ready to strike. The mamba tightens around the eagle's wing, locking it in place, and leaving the eagle thrashing helplessly as the venomous fangs continue searching for an angle on the neck. The eagle pecks repeatedly into the snake's body, but each strike only causes the mamba to tighten further. Two bodies roll across the red earth, dust billowing in clouds, feathers and scales tangling together. The sound of the violent struggle causes the lion pride to raise their heads. Two females rise and move slowly forward, curiously watching the cloud of red dust rolling up along the trail. One lowers its muzzle toward the brawl. The mamba immediately releases the eagle's wing, rears its head high, spreads its hood wide, and lets out a loud hiss of warning. The lioness stops. It recognizes that what stands before it is not prey, but a venomous threat. The mamba slowly slides out of the red dust and disappears into the low grass. The eagle snaps upright, spreading wings that are now slightly misaligned. Both lions still stand nearby as it fans its neck feathers and opens its beak in warning after the life or death struggle. The two lions advance no further. The eagle quickly gathers itself and labors heavily off the ground, circling once before fading into the rising thermals above the savanna. Beneath the low grass, the mamba has vanished, leaving behind a patch of earth that even the top of the food chain chose to avoid. In the end, all three species walked away. No true winner, only creatures that understood survival sometimes matters more than continuing the fight. Far from the red patch of earth, a secretary bird, nearly 1.3 meters tall, strides across the blazing grassland, its scale-armored legs ready for snake hunts across the ground. For this bird, the legs are the weapon, thick scales resistant to venom and kicks of tremendous force, moving steadily through the dry grass in search of the next prey. Ahead, a cobra nearly 2 meters long slides across open ground. The secretary bird immediately halts, lowers its neck, and holds a safe distance. The cobra quickly rears up, spreads its hood wide, and opens its mouth in a threat display. But the secretary bird only steps slowly sideways, forcing the snake to rotate with it. The snake suddenly lunges forward, but the moment its body is fully extended, a strike like a thunderbolt drives straight into its midsection, slamming the cobra down onto the red earth. On the next attack, the secretary bird again leaps backward at the right moment and delivers a reverse kick into the oncoming head, sending the snake staggering. By the third exchange, the cobra is slower. A kick straight down to the top of the head sends the snake's body thrashing across the ground, unable to raise its neck again. The secretary bird delivers a few more decisive kicks, then picks up the cobra's body and walks on across the grassland, as though the hunt just completed was nothing more than a routine part of the afternoon. It will continue sweeping through the grass until dusk, using its long legs and patience to bring down one snake after another with precise strikes. The sun-scorched grassland belongs to those who hunt from above. But to the west, among red rocks and scorching thorn bushes, another snake hunter appears, one that works at ground level through pure speed. A semi-desert stretches with cracked red rock and scattered cactus, as a small shape darts through the gaps in the stones so fast that the dust has not yet risen before it is gone. That is the roadrunner, a bird that hunts with long legs, a tail like a rudder, and a ground speed exceeding 40 kilometers per hour rather than wings. Ahead, a desert snake slides across open ground. The roadrunner spots the prey and immediately changes course, driving straight toward it without slowing. The snake quickly coils into a defensive posture, but the roadrunner simply circles continuously, forcing the opponent to keep changing direction until the movements of head and body begin to fall out of sync. The snake's strike misses. The moment its head extends forward, the roadrunner has already looped behind it, driving its beak hard into the back of the neck and slamming the snake's body against the red rock. Keeping the prey gripped in its beak, the roadrunner repeatedly slams the snake's body against the rock until the entire body goes limp and stops responding. Right where the chase ends, the hunter begins eating its prey. Each portion of the snake's body disappears between strong jerks and steady swallowing. On this arid land, the window of survival is always brief. Just minutes ago, a living creature was finding its way to survive. Now it has become the energy source sustaining another life. Across the savanna and semi-desert, each bird hunts in its own way. One uses talons, one relies on the force of its kicks, and the roadrunner depends entirely on speed. Every snake hunt between savanna and semi-desert is a gamble, because just one successful bite from a black mamba or a cobra is enough to end the hunter permanently. The eagle survived that morning because the mamba's fangs glanced off the thick neck feathers. Had they pierced the skin, the venom would have brought it down from the sky within minutes. For the secretary bird, the leg scales are the final line between life and death, because if the cobra could reach the unprotected thigh, the outcome would be entirely different. The roadrunner is different. No armor, no grip strength, only raw speed. Every loop around the snake is a bet of its life for the sake of its young. The brown eagle perches on a dry branch, wings pressed to its body, waiting for the bruised muscles to recover after the struggle. Further out in the afternoon grassland, the secretary bird still paces slowly through the yellow grass, knowing snakes are most active as temperatures begin to fall. Across the semi-desert, the mother roadrunner continues driving through the scorching rock crevices to find food. And beneath the acacia tree, the lions still lie there. And every time the wind stirs the grass ahead, they immediately raise their heads and look toward the place where the mamba once disappeared. Tomorrow, the eagle will circle the sky again. The secretary bird will step through the yellow grass, and the roadrunner will continue racing through the red rock. But the snakes will continue to exist as well. The race between Talon and Venom has no finish line, only the next round. When the last ray of sunlight leaves the savanna, the mamba still slides silently through the wind-stirred grass, fast enough and venomous enough that no one wants to cross its path a second time. A long, dark shadow glides past the base of a tree, then vanishes. It has just slipped beneath the canopy of an Asian tropical rainforest. And at the end of that silent glide, another creature is about to run out of any chance to escape. Black, metallic sheen scales slide across a bed of decomposing leaves. A forked tongue continuously samples scent molecules, guiding the king cobra toward its prey through the dense, humid forest. While most venomous snakes hunt rodents, the king cobra dominates the food chain by preying on other snakes, including smaller cobras within its own territory. From South Asia to Southeast Asia, across India, Thailand, and Indonesia, millions of square kilometers of humid tropical forest stretch beneath nearly year-round heavy rains. High temperatures and humidity create ideal conditions for the king cobra, the longest venomous snake on Earth, to reign over the tropical forests of Asia. It can exceed 5 meters in length. A broad diamond-shaped head, black scales with a golden metallic sheen. It is not the largest snake, but it is more dangerous than any snake ever recorded. Its primary weapon lies not in muscular strength, but in its extraordinary ability to locate prey with pinpoint precision through chemical signals and ground vibrations. With each flick of the tongue, millions of scent molecules are transferred to the Jacobson's organ, allowing the brain to construct a detailed chemical map of the entire surrounding forest. A few dozen meters away, a small python was still slowly slithering across the layer of decaying leaves, unaware that its every movement had already been locked onto from the darkness. The king cobra raises its forepart and holds its body motionless. The forked tongue continuously checks chemical signals to precisely calculate the attack distance. It lunged forward. Its 5-meter body shot out like an arrow released from a fully drawn bow. The smaller python had no time to turn its head before the upper jaws struck the fragile scales along its neck. 2 fangs, each over a centimeter long, pierced through the thin scales. Neurotoxic venom is injected directly into the body and rapidly spreads through the circulatory system. The toxin quickly paralyzes the central nervous system, severing the control signals between the brain and muscles. Breathing begins to fail almost immediately. The king cobra widens its jaws. The skull joints flex apart, opening a gape far beyond normal limits. From the head, the prey begins to be swallowed slowly and precisely. Scales slide down the throat, a body nearly a meter long gradually disappearing into the darkness, leaving behind only a faint drag mark on the ground and a thick, heavy silence. In the wild, king cobras typically live alone. Each individual controls a wide hunting range to reduce competition for food with others of its kind. But in the dry season, as water sources dwindle and prey becomes scarce, even the most firmly respected territorial boundaries begin to collapse. Two king cobras come face to face on the same trail. Both recognize that the food source ahead is too valuable to retreat from. Forebody raised high, the king cobra flares its hood. They coil around each other, pressing the opponent's head toward the ground, a sign of tension before a true fight for survival. The wrestling match can last many minutes, but when one side is exhausted and loses the ability to resist, the line between rival and prey sometimes disappears entirely. The larger one pins its opponent's head to the ground before delivering a bite. Fast, precise, directly to the neck region. Resistance fades with each passing second. When the sun sets, only one individual leaves the trail, its body visibly distended. For the king cobra, being the same species carries no privilege whatsoever. But even the cannibal is not invincible. Within the same forest exist creatures that cannot be subdued by venom, and that can bring down even a king cobra. The mongoose, sharing the same forest, possesses lightning-fast reflexes and a nervous system with acetylcholine receptors that reduce the impact of snake venom. The honey badger is equally renowned for its thick skin and high pain tolerance, allowing it to engage venomous snakes with an aggression few other species dare attempt. But the greatest threat does not come from the ground. It comes from a direction for which the king cobra has almost no evolved defense mechanism. As it glides into an open clearing, the canopy above has already been watching in silence for some time. Over 20 meters up, a pair of yellow eyes has long since locked onto its target. The crested serpent eagle is in no hurry. It waits for the moment the prey's body stretches out fully. Wings open wide, spanning nearly 2 meters. The dive unfolds in absolute silence. No beating of wings, no warning, only the air torn apart. Curved talons lock onto the neck and midsection. Each talon, over 5 centimeters long, pierces through the scales, swiftly lifting the prey clear of the ground. In the air, the king cobra loses every foothold needed to orient a bite. Its body thrashes through open space, every attack mechanism rendered useless. In the Asian tropical rainforest, position in the food chain is always shifting. Even apex predators can become prey under unfavorable circumstances. The king cobra plays a vital role in controlling reptile populations. A decline in their numbers can alter the ecological balance across many tropical forests. When smaller snake populations grow unchecked, the predation pressure on ground-nesting birds, amphibians, and insects shifts accordingly, affecting the entire ecological chain. But not every king cobra ends up in an eagle's talons. Some females live long enough to enter a remarkable breeding season. Unlike most snake species, the female gathers dry leaves and uses her body to coil and push them into a nest mound nearly half a meter high, a rare nesting behavior among snakes. Eggs are laid within the decomposing plant matter. Heat generated by the decomposition process helps maintain a stable temperature throughout embryo development. The female typically remains near the nest for several weeks, minimizing foraging activity to protect the eggs from predators and environmental fluctuations. Even as another individual was taken by an eagle moments before, the female continues to guard the nest. The instinct to preserve the lineage operates independently of any surrounding event. In the Asian tropical rainforest, life runs on competition, predation, and constant adaptation. no species stands outside the ancient laws of survival. The king cobra is not a symbol of cruelty. It is the product of millions of years of evolution in an environment where a single mistake typically means death. Today's hunter may become tomorrow's prey. And tomorrow, there will always be another species standing one rung higher in the same ecological cycle. The forest continues its motion in silence, needing no audience, needing no name, only the cycles of survival that existed before us and will continue long after us all.